everyone, it's Sandra, and this has been kind of my go-to going out look. So if I'm going out with girlfriends or going out on a date, it's just a little bit smokier than my usual everyday makeup. The complexion is just really fresh and glowing. Nothing too heavy. I just wanted to keep the base nice and light and luminous. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, just keep watching. I will start with the Burberry Fresh Glow. This is a gorgeous illuminating primer. I have combination oily skin for the most of the year, but in the fall and winter, I am a little bit on the dry side. So I like wearing a hydrating illuminating primer like this one, especially when my skin is feeling lackluster. So I'm just using 2 pumps of this. This is the Burberry Fresh Glow in the shade Nude Radiance. It's a little more luminous than the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer, but it has less slip to it. It has less silicone in it. It won't be as smoothing. If you have dry patches or anything like that, the Marc Jacobs primer will be better for you. But if your skin's just kind of normal but looking and feeling a little lackluster, Burberry Fresh Glow will be your BFF. It's just a very natural, beautiful, glowy primer. How gorgeous is this packaging? It has a gold lid. It's part of the holiday collection. For my foundation, I'm mixing a little bit of the Dior Forever foundation with the Maybelline Dream Fresh BB cream. This is so I can get the right color match because the Dior Forever foundation is a little bit too dark for me right now. So I'm just going to use about a pump of the Dior foundation and an equal amount of the Maybelline BB cream, and I'm going to blend them on the back of my hand. I keep meaning to get one of those palette things, but hasn't happened yet, so I'm just using the back of my hand. And I'm going to dot the combination on my skin. It's still a bit too dark, but I'm going to use a lighter concealer, so hopefully everything will blend together nicely. I'm using a beauty blender to work the base into my skin. And then more towards the center of my face, I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Light. I'm going to apply this under my eyes, on my nose. I'm going to use it to highlight and to kind of brighten and balance the color of my base. And it smells really good. It has a very soft coconut fragrance. It's such a hydrating and soothing concealer. I really like it. It doesn't have as much coverage as the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it's really nice for every day and it doesn't get cakey. Conceal using Laura Mercier Secret Camouflage. This is my favorite concealer for blemishes, for acne marks, anything like that. This is my go-to. I actually just got a new one. My old one was running out and then the lid broke off, so I replenished it and I use the shade SC3. And I'm using a Zoeva concealer brush. This is very similar to the Sephora number 57 airbrush concealer brush, but I keep that one at my boyfriend's house. This one's a little more dense, which comes in handy today because I have a couple of post blemish marks that need a little bit of extra concealing. I also like to take this brush to kind of smooth and blend out the corners of my nose. So my base has kind of a medium coverage. You can still see the skin shining through. You can see that Burberry Fresh Glow shining through. Now I'm going to set everything, and I'm using the Guerlain Meteorites. This is in the shade number 2, and the Guerlain Meteorites are little balls of powder. They have different colors and they're meant to have color correcting properties. This is a beautiful powder, especially if you're a fan of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder. This gives a very, very similar effect, but with a little bit more color correcting, and I've been really liking this powder lately. The only downside, aside from the price, is the fact that it's quite heavily fragranced. So if you're sensitive to fragrance, you might not like this. I like the fragrance, it's nice, but it is very strong. So just a word of warning. But I like this powder because it works well for the under eye area and for the rest of the face. It sets the makeup without looking like powder on the skin, which I really like. And the packaging is gorgeous. It's one of those keep on your vanity types of products. I used a Marc Jacobs blush brush to apply it because I like the shape of it a lot. I find that I can get a lot of control with it. I can use the powder underneath my eyes, and it's a very soft brush. It's really nice. Let's move on to eyes. I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion to prime my eyelids. And I just noticed that on the back of my tube, it says that it's only good for 6 months. So I'm wondering, what do? Do you replace your Urban Decay Primer Potion every 6 months? Usually just replace it when I run out or when it starts getting dry, but I've definitely had this for more than 6 months and it still works. For my eyes, I'm using this palette. This is the Love Your Selfie 2 palette from Pure Cosmetics, and this is a face and eye palette. These larger shades over here are supposed to be highlighters and a bronzer, but I just use them all on my eyes. I use this solely as an eyeshadow palette. I find it great for a smokier evening look or for an everyday going to work look. It's beautiful. I was wearing this palette in my last video, the one with my 5 fashion picks, and I've been really enjoying it. It's just easy to pick up one palette, do your whole look. I've just been keeping it on my vanity. It's been really versatile and easy to use. I'm starting with the crease color, and it's the shade Statuesque. It's a nice light to medium brown color, and I'm using a MAC 224 brush. Next, I'm taking the shade Abstract, which is a beautiful taupe shade, on a Zoeva 227 brush. And I'm using this in the outer corner, blending it up into the crease to add a little bit of depth. What I like about this palette is that the shimmery shades don't have chunky shimmer in them. It's very soft and subtle, and when you blend them out, you can still use them in the crease because they just end up having a soft sheen when they're blended out. Next, I'm taking a flat eyeshadow brush. This is a Zoeva 234 brush, and I'm using the cranberry shade in the color Sketch. And I'm just tapping this on my eyelid, focusing on the center of the lid. On a pencil brush, I'm going to take the taupe shade and apply it on my lower lash line. On a smaller detailer brush, this is a Hakuhodo brush. I don't know the number of it, unfortunately. I'm going to take the shade Paparazzi to smoke out the outer corner. First, I'm just depositing the color. It doesn't have to be too neat and precise. We're gonna blend it all in, but I'm just depositing the color, working it a little bit on the lower lash line too. Then I'm going back in with my flat brush and the cranberry, tapping it over the dark outer corner to blend everything together. And then going back in with my crease brush to soften everything. Time to fix my eyebrows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Definer in the shade Taupe. First, I'm brushing them up with the spoolie, and then I'm filling them out. Setting them with my L'Oreal Brow Gel. Do you ever freak out when you're doing your eye makeup, thinking that it just looks horrible, but then once you do your eyebrows and put mascara on, it looks so much better? I feel like I always just go into panic mode while I'm doing my eye makeup. Like, oh my god, this is gonna turn out really bad. This is gonna turn out really bad. And then in the last minute, I put my eyebrows on and I do my mascara, and then it's like the whole look has been salvaged. I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a highlighting shade. I'm using a MAC 226, and I'm going to use the shade Overexposed. Put a little bit of that in the inner corner and on my brow bone. I'm going to line my eyes with the Marc Jacobs Fineliner in the shade Blacquer Berry. This is a very dark plum shade, and I'm using it on my waterline. This is so long lasting, and the tip of it is super fine, which makes it perfect for tight lining, for using in the waterline, anything like that. And then I'm smudging it into the roots of my lashes as well. I'm not bringing it all the way in, I'm kind of stopping midway. I'm curling my lashes with the Surat eyelash curler. I bought this in the Sephora VIB sale because everyone was saying that this is the best eyelash curler in the universe. And I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in it. I like the look of it and the feel of it. It's very sturdy. I love the fact that it's matte black and it does have a really wide opening which lets you get in there. But I just don't find that it curls very hard. I find that my Japanese eyelash curler gives me more of a curl. It's good, but it's not as good as I was hoping it would be. For mascara, I have a little sample of the Makeup Forever Excessive Lash Mascara, which is really nice. It's a good volumizing, thickening mascara. See, mascara just makes everything so much better. For blush, I'm using the Marc Jacobs Lush and Libido. This is my current favorite blush. I've talked about my love for the Marc Jacobs Air blushes before. My favorite shade is Flesh and Fantasy, but this is my current love. It's really nice for fall. It's a beautiful mix of pink. And I'm using a NARS Yachio brush. This is my favorite blush brush. Now I'm going to warm up my face with a bit of bronzer, and I have this giant Too Faced bronzer collection. I got this for Christmas a couple of years ago and I like it a lot, but hands down my favorite bronzer is the Milk Chocolate Soleil. And this is a Sephora Precise Natural Powder Brush. And I'm going to use a little bit of the bronzer on the bridge of my nose as well for a more natural sun-kissed look. Blending it down my neck. All right, final stretch, time for the lips. I'm going to line my lips with the Annabelle lip liner in the color Demure. Annabelle is a Canadian drugstore brand. Just pick a lip liner that matches your natural lip color, so you can just use it to enhance and fill in your natural lip line. Then I'm using the Burberry Kisses lipstick in the shade Nude Pink. This is one of my favorite nude lipsticks ever. The formula is amazing, it's so comfortable. I kind of forgot about it. I got it last year, I loved it, and then I got distracted by the darker mauvey tones of fall, but now I finally brought this back into my rotation. And it's such a beautiful nude pink. I like it because it doesn't make you look washed out. So this is the finished look. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm really happy with how this look turned out. It's just a really fresh and glowing, youthful complexion with a cranberry taupe smoky eye and a nude pink lip. I hope you're having an awesome day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.